Hi cuties, my name is Hanako Kozumi and this is the channel Nerdy Nekoma. Everything here is about Haikyuu chat stories and fanfic. Thanks for joining us today. If you like this video, please consider subscribing and leaving a like. Today's video is the fourth part of my BokuAkaKuroKen series Fragile. It's called The Sound of Heartbeats, and it features the ship DaiSugaIwaOi. The ship itself will get its own video, which I will upload shortly after this. You should have seen the first, second and third part before watching this video, so this all will make sense to you. And in that case, you're already familiar with the content warnings the series comes with, but here is a little reminder. And now, let's jump straight into the video. Bokuta was sitting on one of the chairs in the hallway. After 5 more hours, he had fled the hospital room. The constant beeping of the monitor attached to his boyfriend was driving him insane. Of course, in theory, this sound was a good thing. It meant that Kenma was alive, but it also made it seem like he was or had been close to death, which wasn't the case, at least not to his knowledge. Every beep got him more and more agitated until he couldn't bear it anymore. He kept trying to tell himself that this whole situation wasn't as bad as it looked. He tried to remember the doctor's words and hold on to the soothing reassurance of the nurse. Every beep, however, got him out of his mind and into reality. A reality in which his boyfriend was lying pale and bandaged in a hospital bed, monitors attached to his body and needles in his veins. It made him sick. The whole atmosphere, the building, the people, everything about this place made him sick. He hated hospitals. Whenever he was close to one, he became restless and couldn't relax or sleep.
In another life, we would wake up close, stay up late and watch the sky so you could see the snow.
Akashi and Koro checked up on him a few times, one always staying with Kenma. They never stayed for long, which was fine. He liked the occasional distraction, but since they were just as worried, none of them managed to calm him, and he understood that they needed to be with Kenma right now. When he heard a door open and close, he assumed that it was either one of them or another patient's relative. What he didn't expect was Karasuno's former captain leaving a room close by and looking just as lost as him. Sawamura? Huh? Oh, Bokuto-kun. Nice to see you here. No, that sounds so wrong. Sorry. Don't worry. Why are you here? Something work-related? He doubts it as much as he wished it to be true upon seeing the bags under the younger's eyes. But from what he heard, Daichi became a very good police officer. He wouldn't be this affected if it was just a case. No. He sighed and Bokuto motioned for him to take a seat beside him. Toru, he got hurt. Fell on his head, as it seems. You're kidding. He frowned. No, I wish. Oh, sorry. I'm just... Kenma's in here too. I'm sorry. Not like it's your fault. The silver-haired gave him a weak smile. What happened? Head injury. I see. They both sat in silence for a second. You don't think he did one of his stupid challenges again, do you? Huh? No, that was like 2 days ago. What? The prank, the fainting, that's what you're talking about, right? Daichi just stared at him incredulously. Then, suddenly, a small laugh escaped his throat, but the way it sounded, humorless and somehow sad, caused Bokuto to shiver. So he did, and he pulled others into his mess as well. I'm sorry. What? No, Akashi was the one to participate, not Kemma. Oikawa had nothing to do with Kemma's injury. Thank God. But wasn't the prank already a while ago? Bokuto, he's been here for 2 days and... What? He stared at him shocked. He hasn't woken up yet. Shock turned to horror and a sour taste seemed to linger in his mouth. I'm so sorry. Not like it's your fault. They looked at each other and a small but genuine smile spread on their faces. So, Sugawara and Iwaizumi are still in there. I left to get a snack, or rather to breathe. The air in there feels so heavy, I don't know how to describe it. Bokuto nodded, understanding. Won't they get worried if you don't return soon? No, they know that I needed a break. You should have seen him. Like one of the damn crime scenes I see every day. I couldn't even... Suddenly the door Daichi came from a few minutes ago swung open and revealed a very stressed and very tired looking Iwaizumi. For a split second Bokuto assumed he was searching for Daichi, but the spiker didn't even acknowledge them and just ran straight up to the closest nurse. Bokuto had never seen him so disoriented, exhausted. Daichi immediately jumped to his feet. Hajime, what's wrong? His tone was desperate and pleading, almost the opposite of Iwaizumi's. He has woken up. Toro is awake. Bokuto, I have to... I know. Go. Oikawa needs you. Iwaizumi turned around confused, only now recognizing Fukurodani's former ace. Good luck for Kenma. I hope he gets better soon. The other looked like he wanted to ask, but decided against it and followed his boyfriend in the room, a nurse and a doctor following closely behind, leaving Bokuto alone in the hallway again. After a while, loneliness and urge for answers became too much. He got up and slowly approached Kenma's door. He knew what he would find behind it. That Kuro or Akashi would have stormed out already, like Iwaizumi just did if Kenma had woken up, but still. He couldn't stop himself from thinking, from imagining how he would enter the room and see all 3 of his boyfriends smiling at him. Kenma would be awake and much better and everything would be fine. As soon as he opened the door, reality crashed onto him, and the constant beeping reminded him of the truth ahead of him. Kaotaro? Hey. Akashi sat on Kenma's left side and held onto his hand. He looked tired, his face was pale, which created a stark contrast to the dark bags underneath his eyes. None of them slept last night. Hey. Is he any better? He knew the answer, could see it with his own eyes, but he had to ask. No, not really. But he isn't any worse either, and the nurse said that he just needed time. He gulped. Slowly, Bokuto walked over to Akashi's side and put an arm around the former setter. Immediately, Akashi leaned into the touch, never letting go of Kenma's hand, which was still wrapped in bandages. He offered Kuro to join them, which he did. The younger hugged Bokuto's side. His hand grabbed his shirt and he held onto it tightly. In the middle of all of this, Bokuto tried to stay strong, to offer the support he knew his boyfriends needed right now. They always supported him, whenever he was at his lowest, when he was insecure, sad, or frustrated, when he was hurt, or when he was afraid. If someone would have asked them beforehand, or anyone who knew them for that matter, they would all assume that Bokuto would be the most affected, or rather, most expressive in this kind of situation. They would assume that it was Kuro and Akashi who would have to stay strong for him and build him up over and over again. He would have thought that. He most likely would have freaked out simply thinking about it. But now that it was reality, he suddenly found himself in charge. They all offered support in their own ways, of course, but somehow Bokuto had to be the calmest. He called the ambulance and he held the others in his arms. He kept them going. It was just a small, quiet sound, but it had all three of them turning around to face the bed. For a moment they thought they had imagined it. Then, however, Kenma's body suddenly started to move, and after a few more seconds he blinked against the light. Kenma? The word was barely a whisper. Yet Kenma had heard him, his head snapping around. Immediately he flinched in pain. Simultaneously his eyes widened and they could see the panic rising in the golden cat-like eyes. Kaotaru, the blinds. Bokuto understood immediately and rushed over to close them. Kenma was very sensitive to any kinds of sensations. Waking up in here must come as a shock to him. Kenma. Akashi was about to pull his hand away to give him some space, assuming based on his actions these past days that the touch was unwelcomed. But Kenma's breathing hitched and turned into sobs as soon as the familiar heat was gone. When he couldn't reach for it, he tried to get up. Anxiety rushed to his system when he felt the needles in his arm. Immediately he tried to get away from the sensation, not lucid enough to realize that that was impossible. The beeping of the monitor got faster and it felt like it was getting louder. Hey, Kenma! Kuro rushed to his other side and held him by the shoulders to keep him still and avoid further injuries. He expected the smaller to flinch away from his touch, but instead he reached with the other hand for Kuro and almost ripped the cables off if it wasn't for Akashi. The Ravenet took Kenma's hand and pulled him closer. Together, he and Kuro hugged him from both sides, while Bokuto took his right hand and pressed it firmly to ground him. It's okay. It's okay. Breathe with me, okay? Kenma nodded frantically. Breathe in and out. In and out. Slowly but surely his breathing calmed, and the beeping got slower and less frantic again. That's good. You're doing so great. Kuro continued to whisper hushed words to Kenma, while the other two just held on to him until he finally relaxed in their arms. Should I go get a nurse? No. Please stay. I'll be back in a minute. Please. Silent sobs shook the fragile body and he looked at Akashi pleadingly. I missed you. I don't want to go back yet. Okay. Please. Please. I'll stay. We all will. we are all here, Ken. He gave the blonde a warm smile and emphasized his words by pressing his hand slightly. I'm sorry. Shh, kitten, enough of that. We have time for apologies and talking later. Concentrate on getting better first. No, I lied. I said I'm fine, but I'm not. I'm so sorry. Hey, it's alright. We know that. And it's okay. We'll figure it out together. No, you don't understand. His words were still interrupted by hiccups and sobs. And we don't have to right now. We'll talk about everything when you get better and... I did it. Kenma looked down at the blanket while tears slowly ran down his cheeks and fell onto the fabric. My wrist. I did it. A heavy silence filled the room. They needed to say something. They needed to reassure him, but the words were stuck in their throats. It was as if part of the words shattered in front of their eyes, as if they could hear it break. Kenma? Bokuto didn't know what to say. He was never good with words, but with actions. In a matter of seconds, he had the young girl wrapped in a tight embrace, holding him until the sobs died down to sniffles. We got you. We are here, and we got you. Oh, as I see, Kazumi-san is finally awake. All but Kenma, who still had his head buried in Bokuto's neck, turned around to face the nurse. I'm sorry to intrude like this, but the monitor showed some concerning data in the past minute, so I came to check on him. Kuron Akashi nodded. He is very sensitive to sensations and had a panic attack when he first woke up, but we managed to calm him a little. Can you check the equipment though? Something might have... Oh, of course, that's what I'm here for. He walked up to the bed while Bokuto stepped aside so that the nurse could reach Kenma, which was commented by the injured with a whimper. Hello, Kazumi-san. Kenma. The blonde corrected him quickly, but didn't meet his eyes. Okay, Kenma. It's nice to finally meet you. I'm one of the nurses on this station. My name is Ito Akira, but you can call me Ito if you want. He nodded. If you look to your right, you'll find a button. You can press it whenever you need help with something. His voice was calm and soothing. Not once did he get impatient or annoyed because Kenma avoided eye contact and was overall not very responsive. For now, I want to check the infusion in your arm and the monitor attached to your chest. Is that okay? Kenma looked up surprised and threw unsure glances at his boyfriends. They nodded reassuringly and Kenma mirrored their actions. Okay, would it make it easier if one of them would hold your hand? Again he nodded and a faint blush warmed his cheeks. Alright. The nurse waited patiently until Bokuto, who was still closest to Kenma, took his hand. He showed him how to hold it so that he could simultaneously check the infusion. He always made sure to announce and explain every step before he did it, and waited when he felt the blonde hesitate. Everything looks just fine. I have to remind you to be aware of it in the future, but I'm sure you'll be. However, there's one more thing. You can't overexhaust yourself like that yet, and should rest a bit more. I'll have to give you something to sleep for a bit longer. But I'll give you 5 more minutes. I know you three have been waiting for this for a long time, and I'm sure you keep the excitement at a responsible level. They nodded seriously and watched the nurse leave the room once more. What did he mean by long? Not now, kitten. We can discuss everything when you get better. Let's just enjoy that you're awake for the time being. They did. They hugged and exchanged soft kisses before the nurse returned and an almost familiar darkness took Kenma with it.
It was in the hospital when we first met. You asked me for my name, but
Thank you for watching till the end. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'm already working on the next part. This series is about to be over soon, and I don't really want to end it, but it has to end at some point. And well, also please keep in mind that I claim not to know anything about medical accuracy in this piece. Like, it's just fanfic, okay? And as always, have a wonderful day.
we would wake up close, stay up late and watch the sky so you could see the snow. In another life, it's more than fantasy, so I wouldn't have to